Sterling here at the Oceanside Film Festival with Bill Wisneski, the director of Breaking Point, which just played just about maybe an hour ago to a great and very enthused audience, especially after learning what the film had to say. So, Bill, the film's about the Salton Sea, and there's been a very large amount of documentaries on the area, yet you touch on something that a lot of people haven't heard about yet, pretty much involving certain repercussions that could come about based on the region and its condition at the moment.
Yeah, the Salton Sea there's a lot of misconceptions about the sea. People have seen information that portrays it as an apocalyptic wasteland. Everyone thinks it's a toxic waste dump. That's not really the case. And so what happened with us is, number one, we talked to people locally in Southern California, and many didn't even know the sea exists. It's the largest lake in California, and you'd ask people, and they would have no clue where it is. So if you don't know where it is, you can't do anything to save it, right? And as we started researching more and more, we discovered that the story had never really been told before in terms of the history and the environmental consequences that would affect all of us. So this sea is disappearing before our eyes. All the fish, roughly 100 million fish, are going to die within 3 to 5 years due to the salinity increase. So that's something that unfortunately it's too late. You can't do anything about. Once the fish die off, that's going to affect the entire ecosystem. It's a major migratory pathway for birds along the whole Pacific Flyway. So there's a lot of implications for wildlife, but then for all of us within Southern California, unfortunately, there's toxic dust at the bottom of the sea. As the sea recedes, windstorms will occur throughout all of Southern California that if nothing is done, people will die. There's no doubt about it. It affects a region that already has the highest incidence of asthma and other respiratory diseases in the country. So this issue, unfortunately, is only going to get worse before it gets better. And often, why we call the documentary Breaking Point is that with environmental issues, often nothing is done until it's too late or you've reached the point where the consequences are severe and tragic. And that is definitely the case with this. They've known about this for more than 50 years. Now's the time. They've been talking about it for 50 years. Now's the point where people are going to die if nothing is done. And so it's at a critical juncture for the sea and all of us in Southern California.
And of course, one of the biggest chunks of your subject matter is interviews with the locals, business owners or just residents alike. And basically, when this is to happen, what are any of their plans if they realize, okay, the clock is now ticking on when we can actually be mobile?
Well, that's the challenge. Is so many of them are low income and they don't have options. They can't just move to San Diego. They can't move to Palm Springs, which is up the road. They're living there at a very meager existence, and they don't have the ability, most of them, to leave. So you're talking about a huge population, 80+% Hispanic, low income, people who don't have a lot of resources. They don't have a voice. There's not a lot of advocacy. There are groups out there fighting for them. But they're a group that doesn't have the influence, let's say, as others. So for many of them, there is no other option, really. They are just going to have to stay there and hope for the best. So
before we wrap up, just wanted to ask if you have anything, any last words to kind of share as kind of a thesis to this whole experience, showing here at Oceanside Film Festival.
Well, yeah, thanks so much for having us. It's our second time being here, and it's great to share our film with the local audience and have everyone come out enthusiastically support us. And that's the best. You'll hear this from pretty much all filmmakers. We work very hard for many, many years. Some people are putting their life savings on the line. We're fortunate to not be in that position, but it's very, very long road, and this is the reward for it. Most films don't have a whole chance of getting national distribution. It's more the regional success and film festivals like this. So it's definitely something we all appreciate coming to, and look forward to many more film festivals in the future, hopefully. Yeah.
Well, that was a wonderful note to end on, and we thank you for coming out, and we thank you for watching.